Ladies and gentlemen, this is Vikas from Join Dota, and well, we caught up with two of Mousesports players. They were really hard to get a hang on, and well, we have Misery as well as MSS on the couch. So if anyone's still wondering, this guy is MSS. So yeah, you've been to ESL, and your performance was, I actually it was okay. I mean, like you did really well against IG. You even took one game of them, which is kind of a hard thing to do. And I mean, like you could have taken game 3, but what are you feeling you might lack to really catch up to the top teams?
Well, I feel like we are already a top team. I think our biggest problem is the drafting, mainly. I feel like the third game we already lost in drafts, whereas the first game we should have done some things differently, and then we would have had a bigger chance of winning the game. But it was the first game of the day, and we also fucked up. Well, I would say it's mainly the draft that needs to be fixed a little bit, and then if we get solid drafts, we usually win. So.
MSS, you're very quiet. Do you want to add something?
I agree with Misery about how I feel we only lose because of bad drafts, or I don't think we usually never play bad, or that's the cause of our losses. Well, it's only rarely that happens, but like he said, third game, I feel we couldn't win, like no matter what we do. First game, we just took some bad fights at the mid tower, and we just lost off that. Second game, that was the perfect game. That's how we should play all the time. That was our draft, and yeah, I felt like we could have won that series. We should have won that.
I mean, like you always play a really solid early game, get ahead in kills, you pretty much every time win your lanes. But then, yeah, the transition sometimes is a little bit shaky. But I mean, like you haven't been playing for like years together, so I think everything will go fine in the end. So, rooting for you for TI. So yeah, speaking of which, like the ESL, how did you enjoy it? Like, was it really stressful for you, or was it actually rather nice?
Well, in the beginning, I didn't feel like it was very organized very well. From when we got here, we were here 2 days before for apparently no reason whatsoever. But once the event started, it's quite amazing actually. The crowd is crazy, and like everything is so nice. You're taken care of really well. Like you get free food and free drinks, and the stadium is awesome, and it just feels like it's a really nice event in all ways actually. So yeah.
Did you watch like the football game when you arrived here? I mean, like you got 2 days before here, so you could have went to the stadium, like to the public viewing and stuff like that.
Well, I don't know why I'm answering this because I don't follow football at all. I think Misery should answer this.
Yeah, well, we were there on the German match, and there was probably even more people for that match than there is for the event, but. Yeah, it was nice seeing the screen before and seeing like you're coming here and you're gonna play 2 days later. So that was actually a pretty cool experience.
Well, the TI is coming closer and closer, and I know you guys have plans. Like you will be at the Join Dota studios and like boot camping there. Okay, I can't ask anything about strategies or stuff like that, but what are your plans like going into TI, or what is it you actually schedule, stuff like that?
I think what we plan on improving the most is these draft openings, like our first pick or our first 2 picks, because I feel like if we perfect that, we'll just become unstoppable. And yes, this mid-game is an issue sometimes, where we just completely dominate the early game and we just like fuck around and it falls out of our hands and we just lose the game. So I think if we just work on these 2 major issues, we can just beat any team easily.
Speaking of TI, let's stick to the topic. Like the qualifiers are not completely over. I mean, like we have one last team to qualify like live in Seattle. Who is your money on?
Well, I don't even know who's going at this point. I heard some Chinese are not going, and some issues with Fnatic now, and
Well, I mean, like the CIS, they have problems with devices because they got declined the second time and stuff like that. But just if you have to say, like Aero Gaming, they are in. MVP Phoenix and who else? VP Liquid and Aero, right?
I think it's really hard to call. I haven't even watched a single Aero game. But
didn't Arrow qualify for TI?
Oh yeah, right. Aero qualified and MVPs in the qualifiers, yeah.
So, out of the 4 teams, I have no idea because it's so weird how like the state that Dota is in right now. Like any team can beat any other team as long as their draft is good and they're feeling good at the moment. But I would put my rares on CIS if they get their shit fixed, and after that probably Liquid or VP. Probably leaning towards Liquid more than VP.
Well, because like they're American stuff. Okay. And I mean, like, who's gonna win TI besides you? So who's gonna play second then TI?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's impossible to foresee TI results because, like you said, the game right now is so incredibly difficult with the drafting, and but I still think that the Chinese teams are obviously going to be strong. Newbie, IG, DK. About the European teams, it's hard because they can kind of all beat each other on a specific day. So I think just calling out TI is going to be really hard as of now.
Well, I mean, like, it will be definitely one of the most hard-fought tournaments and, like, well, until the next year. So, yeah, we're pretty much done so far. We don't really want to keep you from eating and signing sessions and stuff like that. So, yeah, give a minute, like, shout-outs, self-advertisement in form of Twitter or stuff like that. Or, yeah, pretty much go crazy, whatever you want to like.
Yeah, shout out to Mousesports. I'm not wearing my shirt, so I'm gonna have to do that. It's BenQ and it's XMG and Epic Gear and yeah, Mousesports and Games for You, Freaks for You. So.
All right. Yeah, same. Shout out to Mousesports, our sponsors XMG, BenQ, Epic Gear. Shout out to Freaks for You too, and yeah, that's all. Oh, you can follow me at MSS Dota. Yeah.
What is your Twitter?
It's Misery Dota on Twitter.
Okay, finally we get the Twitters of some people. So yeah, this was JD. More interviews are coming up.